It is said that I hunt alone, wandering these bitter lands, far from civilization.
Hey, what's up guys, Ravenclaw here and welcome to my BFA Survival Hunter Guide. A lot has changed from Legion and BFA, so we've got a lot to go over. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so there's a lot of changes we've got to go over. It's essentially survival now has become this hybrid of ranged and melee and BM and marksman, and it's weird. So let's just go over to all the things that have changed so far. First off the cap of the rank is Command Pet. Simply allows us to use the particular pet that we're using. For example, if we've chosen a tenacity spec, we can use survival of the fittest. Next being disengage. Now baseline, we don't need to worry about that as a talent or taking up any space. Aspect of the eagle. Now this one is completely different. Instead of it working with Mongoose Bite directly, it now allows you to use your Raptor Strike or your Mongoose Bite as a ranged attack for a certain amount of time. This is no longer more of like a burst ability, it's more of a utility, just in case you get to those sticky fights in a raid or a dungeon to give yourself a bit more range. Coordinated Assault. You and your pet attack as one, increasing all damage you both deal by 20%. This is actually good if you set everything up, depending on what talents you do, it can actually do a lot of damage. And once again, depending on what talents you take, you can actually extend the buff too, so it sort of extends that burn time. It's awesome. So Mastery for survival hunters works now as follows. So you and your pet, all your focus spending abilities are increased by a particular percentage. Furthermore, you and your pet will regenerate a certain percentage of health over, so it's like every 5 seconds, I think. Yeah, every 5 seconds. This is what I'm talking about. Like, Survival Hunter gets Spirit Bond, which was something I've missed on BM Hunter, but hey, it is what it is. We just got to roll the punches. Kill Command. Kill Command is now part of the Survival Hunter's arsenal. Don't know what the theory is behind this. I guess yes, because we use pets and it's like the whole Rexar thing. I'm not sure, but it's actually quite good. Depending on what talents you take, it can actually work really well with your damage. What else have we got? We got Serpent Sting. Fire a poison-tipped arrow at the enemy. This can actually work quite well too. It's pretty potent dot depending on what we take later on. Wildfire Bomb. Hurl a bomb at the target, exploding for a particular amount of damage. But it works in a weird way, not like an explosion all around. It sort of works in a more of like a cone that I've seen. I will, however, go over this, and if it has changed or whatever, I will let you guys know. Okay, so now let's look at the new talents. So we've got Alpha Predator. Kill Command now has 2 charges. The Birds of Prey. Attacking your pet's target with Mongoose Bite, Raptor Strike, or Butchery can extend the duration of Coordinated Assault, which is what I was mentioning earlier. Binding Shot now is a root instead of a stun, which is, as a survival hunter for PvP, it's actually pretty handy. Bloodseeker essentially allows, when every time you do your kill command, it places a bleed on the target. Chakrams. Now this is our old school glaive toss. Exactly the same, works exactly the same. We've got, so flanking strikes, actually it's a little bit different. You and your pet now leap to the target as opposed to sort of flanking the target and whoever's getting attacked, it's weird. So whoever was getting attacked earlier, the other one will do more damage and vice versa. This now just makes you leap towards the target, both dealing a certain amount of damage. Guerrilla Tactics. Wildfire Bomb now has 2 charges, and the initial explosion is 100% more potent. Hydra's Bite. Serpent Sting fires arrows at 2 additional targets. This is a fairly decent AoE, depending on how you want to run your talents. Mongoose Bite, being a talent now, works very much like it's always done, except I believe now it's only 5 stacks instead of 6. Natural Mending. Every 30 focus you spend, it reduces the cooldown of Exhilaration by 1 second. Terms of Engagement. Harpoon deals 50% more damage and generates 30 focus over 10 seconds. once again, if you kill the enemy, it will reset Harpoon. Tip of the Spear is actually pretty interesting if you mix it with Coordinate Assault and whatnot. Simply, whenever you use Kill Command, it'll put a stack of Tip of the Spear, which increases the damage of your next Raptor Strike by 20%. This can stack up to 3 times. So if you've got those stacks ready to go and then you do your Coordinated Assault and everything else in between, that thing hits like a truck. It's like a massive hit. Alright, Wildfire Infusion. This is a very interesting one. It essentially rotates your Wildfire Grenade into 3 different types of grenades. First one being Shrapnel Bomb. Shrapnel pierces the target, causing Mongoose Bite, Raptor Strike, and Butchery, I think also Carve as well, to apply a bleed to everyone around, which is actually quite a good choice for your AoEs. The next one being Pheromone Bomb. This allows you to spam Kill Command. Like, just whenever it comes off cooldown, you just keep spamming it. Volatile Bomb. This, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe how it works is when there's a poison applied to a target, it actually increases the damage of that bomb's explosion. Alright guys, let's check out some talents now. So in the first tier we've got Viper's Venom, Terms of Engagement, and Alpha's Predator. Viper's Venom and possibly, you know, Alpha Predator are the ones that I would take, purely because we're using Raptor Strike all the time. It has a chance to then increase the damage of our Serpent Stink, which makes Viper's Venom stand out above the other 2 for me. In tier 2, we have Guerrilla Tactics, Hydra's Bite, and Butchery. The only time I would take Hydra's Bite is if I knew it's going to be a very AoE type sort of dungeon or raid or whatever. But other than that, I would definitely take Guerrilla Tactics because it gives us 2 charges of our Wildfire Bomb, and having our Carve reduce the cooldown of Wildfire, it allows us to keep that strong AoE going. Tier 3, we've got Trailblazer, Natural Mending, and Camouflage. As MBM, I definitely take Natural Mending. It just allows us to live a little bit more in dungeons and sticky situations, simply because Natural Mending will reduce the cooldown of Exhilaration every time we use 30 focus. Tier 4, we've got Bloodseeker, Steel Trap, or Murder of Crows. Bloodseeker here is the way that I would go. And here's why. You'd think Murder of Crows, yeah, that's also a solid single target dot, but Bloodseeker is not only beneficial for single target, but AoE if you use it right. So this will allow Kill Command to leave a bleed on the target, but you get 10% attack speed for every bleeding target you have around you. Granted, if you're only on one target, yes, okay, you only get 10%, but if you're able then to work your bleed between multiple targets, you can stack it up 2, 3, 4 times, increasing that damage and actually getting more damage out because of everything coming off cooldown and whatnot. Okay, in the next tier, we've got Born to be Wild, Post Haste, and Binding Shot. Born to be Wild is probably going to be the most useful here because it reduces the cooldown of your aspects by 20 seconds. This, once again, being better for survivability and maneuverability and so on and so forth. However, you can take the other 2 depending on what you're doing. If it's leveling, maybe you want to take Binding Shot to be able to live a little bit more, keep all the people locked down and whatnot. Okay, so the next tier, we've got Tip of the Spear, Mongoose Bite, and Flanking Strikes. I simply take Tip of the Spear here because having Kill Command in the proc that allows it to come off cooldown, it comes up fairly often, allowing me to get those really hard-hitting Raptor Strikes in. However, you know, I feel like if you really want that extra burst or something like that, you can go Flanking Strikes, as now you both hit the target quite hard. And if you're good at working with Mongoose Bite, you can, but I still feel like Tip of the Spear takes that edge over the other 2. Alright, so last tier, we've got Birds of Prey, Wildfire Infusion, and Chakrams. Now, the Chakrams is great for AoE, but it's the cooldown and what it does doesn't really help me this is once again, this is all what I do, right? I haven't found it super useful. However, I do find Birds of Prey much more beneficial, especially against boss fights, single target and whatnot, simply because when you have Birds of Prey, when you've got your coordinated assault, every time you use Raptor Strike and Carve, it actually increases the duration of a coordinated assault. And if you can manage your focus in that efficiently, you can actually get a long duration and you can do a lot of damage with this. Now, Wildfire Infusion really will be the best option for your AoE. If you know there's going to be a strong AoE fight, because of the 3 different types of bombs that you get, it'll actually work better in your favor. Especially, I believe it's Shrapnel Bomb, where you hit it and then every time you do a carve or whatnot, it'll actually do more AoE. Now, for your leveling, you've got, if you like in BM, you can turn on War Mode as well. And yes, you'll be flagged for PvP, but once again, you can use those PvP talents to your advantage. Now, if you're out in the wild, it's all about watching yourself. You know, make sure you're in a place where there's no horde and everything like that. So you can take camouflage to get from point to point, or if you can get out of those sneaky situations. However, you've got 3 useful ones that will help you out in leveling. You've got Mending Bandages, okay, which can will help you if you're like you've got dots on you or you need that little bit of extra healing. That's a great utility to have. You've got something like, say, High Explosive Trap to, you know, if you get flooded by a bunch of mobs, you can just knock them out of your way, get yourself some distance, keep your health up. You've also got something like Hunter's Pack, which reduces the cooldown of your Aspect of the Cheetah by 50%. And if you're in a party, everyone else will benefit from Aspect of the Cheetah as well. Alright guys, let's have a look at the rotation, both single and multi-target. So for the single target, it is relatively straightforward. You want to start with your coordinated assault to get that cooldown started and to increase the duration with your Raptor Strike. The main things you want to focus on is applying your 2 dots first, so get your Serpent Sting and your Wildfire Bomb, and then it's a mixture of basically Kill Command and Raptor Strike is usually going to be your main attack for a few reasons: to extend the Coordinated Assault buff and also proc the the Viper's Venom. So that way you can get your max dots going, because Serpent Sting can actually do quite a lot of damage. So as I said, so you want to harpoon in, coordinated assault, get your dots rolling fast. Then you want to mix it between Kill Command on cooldown, and then just get your Raptor Strike going and reapply dots as you would. You can also chuck Carve in there to reduce the cooldown of your Wildfire Bomb as well. Alright, so as for your multi-target, it is as simple as applying your Wildfire Bomb and then using Carve on cooldown. As soon as it comes off cooldown, just do it. I like to go Wildfire Bomb first, then Carve straight after that, so it reduces the cooldown, because reduce main cooldown Wildfire Bomb by 1 second for each target hit, up to 5. So it's, if you know, usually there's some pretty big pulls, get an extra 5 seconds off. Now, once these 2 are on cooldown, what you want to do and try to do is apply Serpent Sting to all the targets around. That way you get that dot going. Also, if you are able to, get your Kill Command onto as many targets as possible, because that bleed will increase your attack speed by 10%. So, like I said, I'm going to jump in, Wildfire Bomb with your Carve straight off the bat, then tab target around and apply your Serpent Sting. Then once again, Wildfire Bomb and whatnot, and then try it, because Kill Command also is your focus regen as well. At the moment, so survival feels a bit messy, but practice makes perfect, like with anything. But overall, I still feel like this is going to do well in PvE, but also in PvP. Okay, so let's have a quick chat about stats. I believe that we should be looking to go Haste, Critical Strike, and then we've got Versatility and Mastery are pretty much on the same tier, because they essentially increase the damage of our abilities. When I say that, is the new Survival is our Mastery we get a buff to all of our focus spending abilities, and versatility is all the damage we do. I've worked around a little bit and I found this to be probably the best for me. However, I always encourage suggestions down in the comments section to let me know your ideas on this. As for gear, I'm doing a video on all of the end tier gear and stuff like that, best in slots and all that, that's coming in the next video. And as for pets, if you head over to this video right here, I cover the new style of pets and the specs and all the other good stuff in between. Alright guys, I hope this quick guide helped you have a little bit more of an understanding on the new survival ways. If you have any questions or have anything else to add, please let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, you amazing people out there, you keep on sniping, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.